Okay, what if I told you that you could quit your job and live a really comfortable life with just $500,000 in the bank? I know, it sounds kind of impossible, right? While most of us are programmed to chase that first or second million, we're gonna dive into some surprising math that proves financial freedom might be way, way closer than you think.
So let's just tackle this question head on. Can you really retire on $500K? You know, all the conventional wisdom says, no way. It tells you to work till you're 70 and just, hope for the best. But that advice, it completely ignores one fundamental principle that changes the entire game.
And this slide really shows the disconnect perfectly. For most people, retirement looks like that giant, unclimbable mountain on the left. You think you need 2, maybe even 5 million bucks. But the actual path to freedom, it might be a lot closer to that manageable trail on the right. We're going to break down exactly how people are living better lives than most millionaires with that $500,000 wisely invested.
So let's start by busting this myth wide open. The whole idea that you need millions and millions is built on a massive misunderstanding of what wealth really is.
And here it is. This is the crucial point. We've been taught to think wealth means fancy cars and huge houses, but real wealth, true wealth, isn't about accumulating stuff, it's about accumulating choices. It's the freedom to wake up without an alarm clock, to spend your day exactly how you choose, to say no to things that just don't serve you. And that kind of freedom, it doesn't cost millions.
So how does the math actually work? Let's get into the numbers. It's surprisingly simple, but I'll be honest, it does require a huge shift in your mindset.
This right here, this is the absolute core of the entire strategy. You have to stop thinking about your nest egg as this big pile of cash that you're just going to spend down to zero. Instead, you have to see it as an engine that produces passive income for you. Your goal isn't to deplete the principal, it's to live entirely off the interest it earns.
Okay, this slide makes the whole concept tangible. Look at this. With a super conservative, low-risk approach, mostly focused on bonds, a 5% return on your $500,000 generates over $2,000 a month, every single month. Now, if you're comfortable with a little more risk, balancing stocks and bonds, and aiming for an 8.5% return, that number jumps to over $3,500 a month. Suddenly we're talking about a lifestyle that goes way beyond just covering the basics, all without ever touching that original $500,000.
And that brings us to this key quote. It's so true. A consumer spends money and poof, it's gone forever. But an investor puts their money to work to generate more money. This isn't just some financial strategy, it's a completely different way of seeing your relationship with money. Now think about the power of this for a second. Because you're only living off the returns, your principal, that original $500,000, never ever gets spent. It can just keep growing, outpace inflation, and basically last forever. Your money can literally outlive you. It can be passed down to future generations. They call it financial immortality. How cool is that? But okay, if the math is so simple, why doesn't everyone do this? Well, that brings us to the real challenge. And it has a lot less to do with spreadsheets and a lot more to do with your own habits.
Here is the honest-to-goodness truth. The person who can live comfortably on $3,000 a month is genuinely wealthier than the person who needs $10,000 a month to get by, regardless of their bank balance. True wealth is having low expenses. The biggest obstacle for pretty much all of us is our own spending.
This is a truly staggering comparison. Just look at this. Over a lifetime, with new car loans, interest, insurance, maintenance, the whole shebang, the average person can easily spend over $600,000 just on transportation. That's more than the entire amount we're talking about for financial independence, all spent on an asset that just goes down in value. It's wild.
And here's another number that really puts things into perspective. $3,000. That's what the average American spends every year on things like daily coffee, eating out, convenience foods. It feels so small in the moment, right? But the opportunity cost, what that money could have become, is just massive.
And this is that opportunity cost in action. That same money, if you just invested it annually at an 8% return, could grow to over $800,000 in 30 years. That's literally the difference between temporary pleasure and permanent freedom. It's about recognizing the choice you're unconsciously making every single day.
So, the crucial skill you have to develop is what the source calls immunity to lifestyle inflation. You know how it goes. Most people, as soon as they get a raise, they upgrade their car or their apartment, their expenses just magically rise to meet their income, and it traps them on this financial treadmill. Building this immunity means that every extra dollar you earn goes toward buying your freedom, not just more stuff.
You know, this isn't just about escaping the 9-to-5 grind, though that's a big part of it. Let's talk about the real prize here, the why behind this entire strategy.
Because what you're really buying isn't stuff, it's this. It's time, your most precious, non-renewable resource. It's the choice to walk away from a toxic job. It's the opportunity to finally start that business you've always dreamed of because your basic needs are covered. It's shifting from working for survival to working for fulfillment. That, my friends, is real wealth.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. What about inflation? What about market crashes? Totally fair questions. And this strategy accounts for them. For inflation, if your investments are growing faster than what you're withdrawing, your principal actually grows to keep pace with rising costs. And for market crashes, a diversified portfolio and a conservative withdrawal rate create a safety buffer, so you can weather the storms without having to sell your core assets at a loss.
So look, this isn't some fantasy. It's a mathematical certainty for anyone who is willing to prioritize it. The real question is, where do you begin? The path isn't complicated. You just start where you are with what you have. Automate a small investment. Consistency is so much more important than the amount at the beginning. Do a ruthless audit of your spending. And then, probably most important, have that honest conversation with yourself about what you truly need versus what our culture has told you to want.
And you know, there's something really beautiful about this whole process. Building this financial foundation, it isn't just about the money you save. It's about the person you become. The discipline teaches you patience. The delayed gratification teaches you to think long-term. And honestly, those skills are way more valuable than any dollar amount.
So we'll end with this. The math is clear. Financial independence on $500,000 isn't a fantasy. It's a choice. And yeah, it requires you to live differently than most of the people around you. But the reward is a life lived on your own terms. Your future self is counting on the decision you make today.